Okay, good evening, everyone. Right, this is episode 10 of my podcast. Now, this one is a little bit different to the others. There's no guest on. It's just me today, so you have to listen to me for the duration of the episode. But I just decided that after doing 9 episodes before and having on 9 different guests, 10 was be a good time to go and do a recap. So, obviously we have to go get straight in and start from number one. But first and foremost, I just want to say it's been a really amazing journey up until now. Getting 9 people on to speak to me and open up about their life has been absolutely incredible. The fact that they trust me to do that as well, has been incredible. Even sort of for my own journey to be hosting a podcast, massive character building opportunity, one that I've absolutely loved. So thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you, obviously, of course, to all my guests, and thank you for all the future listeners who are gonna jump on board and the future guests that are going to come because this is obviously 10 and we're going to go get to 11. And of course, then when we get to 20, we'll be doing another recap of another 9 guests that I've had on. But there's been so much learning in each episode. I even have my little notepad here to help me out with all the people who have spoken about and just some key messages that we've picked up. And so going back to my very first game changer podcast episode was with Luca. Now, so Luca's been a good friend of mine now for a couple of years. Um, he's a player. He wants to obviously work in football. He loves football. He's passionate about it. And one thing that I sort of took from that conversation with him, I mean, like there's so many things, but I think all these sort of points are like sort of standout points. But sort of one of these standout points from his conversation was how when you're in a sort of environment and it's maybe you and a good friend or you and another teammate or you and your work colleague, but when two people kind of like are in a sort of progressive relationship, it really helps. And say when it comes down to obviously training, if you're training in the gym, if you're sort of doing a training course for work, um, even as a sort of coach or a football player, if you're training with someone else or learning with someone else, it always helps because yes, there is that little element of competition, but there's also time to go and grow and develop. And that was one thing we sort of spoke about is just having someone there to push you. And it kind of goes back to that phrase of if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And it just that was kind of what he was saying. And sort of really liked that idea that if you have this sort of group around you, that you can really go off and progress and do some really amazing things in your life. But obviously, if you want to try go off and do it on your own, of course it's possible, but it does help when there's that little bit of support and someone to kind of push you to go off and maybe go do that extra 1% to do that extra rep or maybe stay an extra 10 minutes to learn some more. So honestly I thought that was brilliant. So obviously that if you want to go fast, go alone or go far, go together is really amazing quote that I've sort of picked up from that. Um so that was number one, guess number one. Great to get one on the road. Then when he gets to two, it's amazing. You have two people who want to come talk to you. So episode two was with Rui Barbosa. So Canadian guy, if you remember, great guy as well. Originally connected with him through LinkedIn, but honestly, we've had some amazing conversations up until now, really. So since I met him, it's always been some amazing conversations, and there will be some more amazing conversations. And it's just sort of the thing that I kind of go back to with Rui. Um, he's sort of been thinking about where he wants to be all the time. Now he's working with Canada Soccer at the minute. At the time in the interview, he's just finished up in Malmo, and he's now doing work with Coventry City as well. So, and this just goes back to him that like he was just when he was in school, all he was thinking about was sports. Now, obviously, sort of soccer for Canadians and Americans and football sort of like for more European-based people. It's like when you're just thinking about something all the time, that's your passion. If you're waking up every day and thinking about helping people, then that's your passion. That can be like that can be anything. It can be helping people to learn. It can be helping people physically, like you want to go be a doctor. And in terms of helping people learn, if you want to go be a teacher or an educator, help people invest money. I think that's what like the best people are the ones who are so driven and they're so passionate about stuff, but they absolutely love what they do. Like I think everybody on this planet is an educator, is a teacher, it's a coach because you're passing down information to someone else, to a player, to a colleague, to someone else. So you're passing down information all the time, and it's usually these good educators that sort of get the high levels, get to the high levels. And just going back to Rui, Rui was just so driven and always just thinking about sports. And it's no wonder that he's now working with a national team. And Coventry were obviously unlucky to not make the playoff final. But Coventry are like a really, really progressive team. So Rui's doing really well. And it's just that like that's what you need. If you're waking up and you don't sort of have that passion, it's probably not really you're probably not really enjoying your life. But I can see Rui loves his life because he loves what he's doing. And like the same thing goes for all the guests that I have. They all seem to love what they're doing, which is amazing. So honestly, it was another unbelievable conversation with Rui. And then after doing two, the fact that I can get three, and obviously this episode, I mean, this list goes all the way down to nine. It's been amazing the guests that we've had on. Um, Number three was we were talking to Dylan. Now, Dylan, I'm not going to say your second name because I know I'm going to absolutely butcher it again. But honestly, at the time, I know you were still coaching with Arsenal. I think you were kind of finishing up. Um, but sort of this kind of like leads on from Rui's example as well, is that Dylan started coaching at the age of 14, which is like insane. Like most people don't really start working out what they want to go and do until their 30s, 40s, potentially even 50s. And then at times it can potentially be too late depending on what you want to go do. Now, it's never too late to do anything. But at the age of 14, but his whole mantra was just all about enjoying the process, which is amazing because I think so many people just focus on, okay, for me, I'm a coach, and if you're in those shoes, you're focusing on, I want to manage in the Premier League. If you're a player, I want to play in the Premier League. I want to play in the World Cup. I want to play for my national team. If you're whatever, if you're in the bank, you want to make as much money as you can. If you're in whatever, a doctor, you want to be the best doctor. But nobody really focuses anymore on the process. You don't just wake up one day and then you become a multi-millionaire. You don't just wake up one day and become the best surgeon in the country. You have to, there's process, there's learning, there's stages, there's years you have to go through. And Dylan's still a really young man and he's got some amazing years ahead of him. I'm actually not too sure where he will be next summer, but obviously I wish him the best. I know he was sort of talking about Europe. I think Denmark was on the cards, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But just like he wanted to go off and do this because it's his sort of development mentality that he feels like he didn't get sort of the best coaching, so he wants to go and give that back. But he's enjoying the process all the time. And this comes back to if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then honestly, like why are you doing it? Why do you wake up to do something that you don't want to do? So another honestly brilliant conversation. And the fact that I can talk to a guy who's in a Premier League academy, and not only just a Premier League academy, Arsenal are a very, very top club, was amazing, amazing insight, amazing experience. Um, and I wish all the guests that I've had on all the best in everything that they do. So there's three episodes recapped. Now we're going to go on to four. So episode four was with another good friend of mine who I've recently sort of met and connected with through LinkedIn is Callum. Now Callum has just finished up his season with AFC Rochdale as the main performance analyst. Um, and so Callum is obviously originally from the north, from Northern Ireland. I'm living in the Republic of Ireland, and Callum is wanted to go and progress his life. Look, like everybody wants to go progress their life, wants to go do better. But Callum had to make a decision. Callum had to go and be like, okay, the opportunities aren't here in Northern Ireland or even the Republic of Ireland. So I need to go elsewhere. And it's a massive, life-changing experience when you have to go and move country. Now, obviously, he's lucky that he's gone from an English-speaking country to another English-speaking country over in England, but it's not easy. I know people can think, oh, well, it's only over in England. Like if you're going over to a different country, 18 years of age, by yourself, it's tough. So the fact that he was so open-minded to do that is just been amazing because I think a lot of people are so close-minded. They want to be comfortable. They don't want to go and experience stuff. And yes, there's obviously maybe a couple of weeks, couple of months of discomfort for Callum when you go and move. But just like if you want to have a better sort of life, you have to sort of realize, okay, in where I live, there's not the same opportunities. Okay, maybe the next big town. Right, well, there's no opportunities in Belfast for me. There's no opportunities in Dublin. I need to go elsewhere. So let's go look in Manchester. Oh, I can go do a course over in Manchester and then also pursue what I want to go do. And then also just it sort of came down to him, like every single one of these people so far. He just had that drive. He didn't want to work in Tesco anymore. He didn't want to work in a retail job. Football, just football. So he took that gamble. He then, obviously, another gamble after moving country. He then left the job that is obviously securing money to then go and pursue what he wants. So all this just all comes down to passion. Everyone's passionate about what they want to go and create for themselves. And what I love about this is that not many people are willing to go and do that. People aren't willing to just go and right, I'm going to go off to England and just make a life for myself, or I'm going to go off somewhere else and make a life for myself. So it's amazing that Callum and obviously going back to Dylan as well, potentially moving to Copenhagen, another massive life changing decision, moving from the UK to Denmark. So honestly, there's been some amazing lessons in all of these episodes so far. And episode 5, we linked up with Alfie. Um, Alfie's honestly another great guest to have on the show, as has everyone been. So I've been appreciative of anyone who's come on and opened up and told me about their stories. But what I love and what I sort of value is the way Alfie was speaking about building relationships. And it's like if you go into a dressing room and you're sort of really hard on players and like you don't really compliment them as much and whatever. If your mentality and your putting whatever your energy is all negative, no one's gonna want to be around you. And that doesn't mean you're just a coach. It can be anybody. If you work with people and there's no energy and everything is just all negative and it's just all aggressive, you're not gonna want to go be around anybody. You're gonna be like, I don't want to be there because this guy is not what I want to be. I want to be around positive energy. So that's what I thought was amazing with Alfie, where he's obviously understood now, obviously just going through university, that's where you need to be. Like it sort of comes back to something I sort of say all the time about if you can communicate well with people, you're gonna do really, really well in life. Honestly, you will. You're gonna do amazing because that's what gets you business. If you're a nice person, you've got a good attitude, good energy, you've got good drive, and you're open to talk to people and communicate, and you can communicate well and make them feel comfortable, and not only make them feel comfortable, but make them feel comfortable with you to listen to your ideas and your values, then that's brilliant. Then that's how you potentially, if you want to set up a business, you get clients. If you want to go work in a team, you get players to really like you and then get on board. And it's like Alfie wants to create the best person that he can be, and then also give this back, give the value back to players. And this kind of even goes on to sort of episode 6 and 7. So episode 6 was with an amazing guy called Joseph. Now Joseph I met when I was over in Ajax. We went over to a seminar which was held in the toekomst, which is the future for Ajax in their training ground. Honestly, great guy. Um, and sort of similar to about relationship building, Joseph just talks about one thing that I picked up from Joseph really was just having that positive impact on people. Like it's a known fact that everybody on this planet has got issues, some sort of issues, whether there's stuff at home, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whatever it is, financial even, everybody's got something that they're struggling with and that they don't really want to try to talk to people about and they want to just go and just get through the day. But one thing that Joseph said was about sometimes these little actions can actually help people. So his words were something along the lines of if you hold the door open for someone, it could potentially make their day. And like goes back to me, if you compliment someone, if you talk to somebody, if you if you give someone positive energy, someone's going through a bad time, look, I'm here for you. You're a great person. You can go and do this. And honestly, that's what I think society needs more of. Needs more positive energy because in my eyes, positive energy is like it can have like this domino effect. So if I give positive energy to somebody, somebody can then give it to someone else, and then it sort of carries on like that. That holding the door open gesture from, let's say I hold the door open for Joseph, for example, then somewhere else along the day, Joseph will hold the door open for someone else. Maybe someone else will hold the door open for someone else, and that's what I mean. It just spirals. People want to sort of take the energy and then use it and give it to other people. So if you have this positive energy to give people, it makes your life so much easier. Now, life isn't ever easy. There's always ups and downs and challenges. But if you can do that little, that's opening a door, holding a door open for someone for 5 seconds or 10 seconds, what's it going to cost you? Absolutely nothing. And it goes back to a phrase that, like, your attitude doesn't cost you anything. If you want to go off and be nice to someone, it doesn't cost you anything. You can hold the door open. You can compliment someone. You can tell somebody they're doing great work. It doesn't cost me anything. It basically just boosts someone else's confidence. And it also improves me as a person because I can compliment someone. People find it hard to just go off and compliment each other. So honestly, that was amazing. And then even, like I said, this kind of five, six, and seven with Alfie, Joseph, and even James Judah now. James is obviously over in LAFC. Recently got a job there, which has been absolutely amazing for him. But he's talking about his legacy. Everybody wants to win, everybody wants to make money, everybody wants to have fancy cars and a big sorry, in a big massive house with a 40-meter swimming pool in the back garden. But this comes back actually to a book that I read about. Can't remember if it was, I think it might have been in a book called The Seven Habits of Highly Successful People. And it talks about, imagine it's your funeral and people are talking about you when your family's up there talking, whether it's say like your parents and your siblings, whether it's your own family that you've created, your wife, your kids, friends, colleagues. Like when they talk about you, what do you want them to say about you? Do you want to have 10 people show up to your funeral, or do you want to potentially have 110 people show up to your funeral? And that's what it goes back to. Like if the likes of Alfie, Joseph, and James keep on doing what they're doing every day with building relationships, being positive, creating those connections with people, they're going to have great and amazing lives because they're doing positive things every single day. Like honestly, I love James's interview. Even when he opened, he should have said, "I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a cousin." He's a person. Every single person on this list is a human being. But I just thought that was brilliant. He's got his life values set in stone, which is honestly, which was so good. And even with my next guest, Jessica, who I went to university with. I don't know if it's me, but I call it college, but maybe it's not. Maybe university is better. But Jessica is obviously now with the Shamrock Rovers senior women's team as a coach and a kit manager. She's also has her own coaching business too, like personal training business, which is absolutely brilliant. She's been working with elite level players with the national team, and she also just talks about her environment and her values. And honestly, it's amazing to see that there is so many like-minded people that I've managed to speak to who have these values. Like she's in a place where she's just being married. She's now focusing on family. And I think so many people just forget about their family. They just focus on I need to work, I need to work, I need to work, I need to make 1 million in a year, I need to make 2 million in 5 years, I need to make 10 million by the time I'm 40 or 30 or whatever it is. And they then forget about what's going on. Like it goes back to this question that you see on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube all the time. Like, do you want to have 10 million in your bank account now and not wake up tomorrow? Or do you want to wake up tomorrow and have a family, but maybe only have 15 grand in the bank account or 50 grand in the bank account? So there's your life in perspective. And I love that Jessica's in a place where she's just focusing on her family and her values right now. She wants to be a loving wife. She wants to potentially have her own family. So she wants to go be there, be be a parent, which is amazing. And if you're if you have that clear focus in life, then I think life becomes so much easier because if you just focus on the good things in life, like money comes and goes. People have to spend money every single day. People earn money every week, every day. But money comes and goes. Your family, you only get one family. I might get paid this week. I will. I mean, I got paid last week. I will get paid this coming week. I'm gonna get paid next week. That's the way life is. Money's gonna come, and then I have to pay it out. My family's only here for a certain amount of time. I'm only here for a certain amount of time. So honestly, I thought that was another very, very, very powerful episode to listen to and speak to. And then even going on to my very last guest, episode number 9 so far with Francois, another unbelievable guy who I've managed to get to know in recent months. And he's his main focus now is sort of trying to set up his mindset coaching business. And it's it was powerful, honestly. This I know I keep on saying this, but some of these episodes have been so amazing that people have told me things, and it's just like, well, like things aren't going to always go well every single day. No way. There is not a person on the planet, whether they're poor or whether they're multi-millionaires, there's not a person on the planet who has consecutive good days. It's not possible. Absolutely. And Francois was even mentioning about like when you have these emotions, just relax, see what's going on. Just actually think about it rather than just trying to. I honestly think that when you bypass these kind of things and don't focus on them, that's when the potential problems build up. And that was what sort of Francois brought up, that if you're talking about it and you maybe think about it, then you can actually write, you can learn about what's going on. But if you bypass it, then potentially there could be an even bigger issue 3, 4 months down the line if you didn't deal with it in the first place. And there's always going to be factors in life that aren't going to work. There's going to be people in life that aren't going to like you. It's normal. We're human beings. I like people. Francois likes people. Same goes for Jessica, James, Joseph, Alfie, Callum, Dylan, Rui, Luca. They all like different people and don't like different people. And maybe I like some people that they don't like. Maybe they like some people that I don't like. That's normal. We're human beings. I mean, if everybody liked everybody, we'd all be going around like robots. So it's normal that there's always going to be stuff out there that's not going to work. And it was amazing to hear Francois say, just sometimes you just need to just reflect. Just, okay, I'm in this situation. Well, what can I do about it? I'm here now. It goes back to something that I said the other day. You just need to control the controllables. What can you control? Your attitude, your work ethic, your own drive, your own discipline, your motivation. You can control all that. I can't control what someone else is doing down in Tesco right now, or I can't control what someone else is doing over in Manchester or London. I can't. I can control me. So that's honestly, all of these just come back to just sort of amazing values that people have brought up in the conversations. And I've loved every single conversation up until now. Every single person has shared some amazing thoughts, memories, ideas, values about life. And you know what? I'm so looking forward to the next 9 episodes because it's going to be another brilliant 9 episodes ahead. But listen, look, honestly, I want to say a massive thank you for listening to me, for chatting away like I have been. It's been another really good and enjoyable episode. I mean, it's actually, I don't, I think people sometimes don't realize that they can actually keep on talking. I mean, I'm basically just talking to a computer screen, but look, I hope you enjoy what you heard, and looking forward to the next nine episodes because I promise you, each episode that I have lined up from 11 onwards to 19 is going to be another great nine conversations. Look, so have an amazing evening. I will see you all soon and have a great week.